your emergency? I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. Her mother finally admitted that she's been missing. I need to find her. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
In the smoldering summer of 2008, Orlando, Florida became the focal point of a scary narrative that would catch the nation's attention. The name Casey Anthony became synonymous with a chilling mix of mystery, loss, and malice. On July 15, 2008, Cindy Anthony was alarmed by the prolonged absence of her granddaughter, Kaylee.
We had a beautiful little girl, and she was missing, and it was a mystery, and we didn't know why, but what we did know was that Mom was out partying while the baby was missing.
She then frantically calls the police. The desperation in Cindy's voice reverberated through the 911 call as she reported her granddaughter missing. A 2-year-old with dark eyes and an angelic smile had not been seen for 31 days. Yet despite this, there was an eerie calmness from the child's mother that was unsettling. Despite the grave concern from her family, Fernandez Gonzalez, abducting Kaylee and the myriad of lies that followed, showcased a sinister detachment from the gravity of the situation. Each fabricated story pushed the truth further into obscurity. While the hours turned to days and the days to weeks, the hope of finding Kaylee alive began to fade. The ensuing search for Kaylee was nothing short of an emotional whirlwind, as hope battled despair under Florida's scorching sun. The media storm surrounding the case was relentless.
In 2008, a missing toddler from a quiet Orlando suburb became the focus of international news.
With each passing day, the facade begins to crack, revealing a deeply troubled young woman with an inclination for fabrication. On December 11, 2008, a grim discovery was made. The skeletal remains of little Kaylee are found in a wooded area near the Anthony home, with duct tape positioned near the skull. The scene was nothing short of terrifying, like that of a horror movie. The forensic examination started, meticulously unraveling the horrifying details of the scene. The authorities ramped up their investigation. As the news broke, media outlets swarmed the Anthony residence and the surrounding areas, turning the tragic story into a nationwide spectacle. The world watched as every shred of evidence was scrutinized, hoping to piece together the puzzle that now surrounded the Anthony family. The prosecution built its case against Casey Anthony, charging her with first-degree murder among other charges.
My job was to save Casey Anthony from the death penalty. If the case went south and for whatever reason a jury came back that she was guilty of first-degree murder, my job was to try to save her life. I believe we could have mitigated the death penalty.
As the trial commenced in May of 2011, the courtroom became a theater of relentless interrogations, clashing narratives, and emotional testimonies. The forensic evidence, the chloroform traces found in Casey's car trunk, the disturbing internet searches, and the heart-wrenching photographs of Kaylee's remains all painted a haunting narrative that held the courtroom in a vice grip of horror and disbelief. The prosecution argued that Casey intentionally silenced her daughter to free herself from the responsibilities of motherhood. On the other side, the defense argued that Kaylee's death was accidental, that she drowned in the family pool and in a state of panic. Casey and her father covered it up. George Anthony, Casey Anthony's father, was a significant figure in the narrative that unfolded during the trial. The defense alleged that George had discovered Kaylee's accidental drowning in the family pool.
Forgive you, and you will go to jail for child neglect for the rest of your frickin' life. Why did George do this? Why didn't he call in?
And helped Casey cover it up to make it look like a murder. They also suggested that George had sexually abused Casey as a child.
What happened to Kaylee, we wouldn't be here today.
Did you dispose of the body of your granddaughter?
However, George denied these allegations. He denied any involvement in Kaylee's disappearance or death, and also denied the allegations of sexual abuse. His testimony was emotional and seemed to contradict Casey's narrative, further complicating the already convoluted case. Each day of the trial saw the nation more invested in the horrifying details unfolding within the courtroom. The forensic evidence, or lack thereof, becomes a battleground. The prosecution struggled to tie Casey directly to Kaylee's murder. The infamous chloroform searches on the family computer and the presence of chloroform in the trunk of Casey's car were presented, yet their significance was hotly debated. On July 5, 2011, After a 6-week trial with testimonies from over 90 witnesses, the jury delivered a verdict that sent shockwaves through the country. Not guilty of first-degree murder, not guilty of aggravated manslaughter, not guilty of aggravated child abuse. However, she was found guilty on 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. Yes, you heard that right. That was all she was convicted of. Since her acquittal, Casey Anthony has largely shied away from the public and led a low-profile existence. Notably, in 2021, she launched a private investigation firm, aiming to assist other wrongfully accused people.
Justice for Kaylee! Justice for Kaylee! Justice for Kaylee!
Join us next time as we continue to peel back the dark veil on humanity's most terrifying tales.